Living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
Of all the industries where technology plays a crucial role, healthcare is arguably the most important. And more, you can take technology home with you to monitor, track, and improve your health. Welcome to Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. I'm your host, Lisa Sather. Today we'll show you some at-home devices to help you with your health. And for those of you who are not so tech savvy, we have some great household items for you too. Stay with us. Welcome back. Joining us today is Dan Keith, CEO and founder of It Starts With Me Health, and Shireen Campbell, a medical claims data analyst for It Starts With Me Health. Thank you both for joining us today. You're not strangers to the show, so thank you for coming back.
Good to see you again.
Yes. So, we've loved learning about the latest trends in technology, and we want to thank you for coming back. And so I want to talk about the future of healthcare. And it's been changing dramatically with all the new technology that's come along. And people are wanting more and more to stay in their homes, receive care in their homes. With your expertise and what you've seen at some of the summits and things you've gone to, can you talk a little bit about where you see health and healthcare going in the future? Dan, maybe you.
Yeah, it is moving incredibly fast. And in fact, a lot of the healthcare providers can't even keep up with all the changes, and it's almost an unreal expectation to expect them to. But a lot of the things we're going to show today are part of that healthcare at home, where people can actually be generating some of their own numbers and some of their own readings and provide them to their doc for the doc to be able to provide better care. Excellent. I don't know, what do you see?
Yeah, definitely the telemedicine is gaining more and more traction. You see a lot more in the news with the VA system. They've had amazing success with it. And it keeps people monitored more closely so that they don't have to come into the hospital after they've gotten a little bit too far down, like a heart issue where maybe they've been drinking too much fluid and their blood pressure is going up and they've maybe got some congestive heart failure issues. We'd see a lot more people in critical condition, whereas now there's some of those bits of information that can be drawn either from some of the remote blood pressure devices and scales people being weighed. And so we're preventing a lot more serious issues being seen in the hospital a lot more frequently. So, things like that, or new mothers with little babies and they're not sure, that's their first baby, and they don't know, is it a fever or what's going on with my child? And instead of rushing into the ER, they can gather some of that information and then provide that to the provider without it being a critical issue sometimes. So
excellent.
Let me add one thing to that, especially with home care for individuals. One of the things that's happening is people might have a device, for example, that they like to track their health with, but maybe they have a home care agency coming in and the home care agency's software doesn't really accommodate that. And on top of that, the provider's software doesn't really accommodate that. So I think that is one of the things that's going to start happening, is there's going to be this sort of chasm between all the data that people can take in and actually use.
Interesting, thank you. So how about elderly patients? Any advice how older folks can keep up with this, and keep themselves a little bit involved in the trends in technology before we jump into actually looking at some items?
Well, that's actually a great question, because what we find is that a lot of folks that are getting older, the smartphone technology sometimes is something that they don't want to really deal with. But then there's a lot of folks who have embraced it. And a lot of the technological advances that are coming through are smartphone or iPad based, and so they are kind of based around that. But we have actually brought a few things that are non-techy that are pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Well, without any further ado, let's jump into what you've brought to show us today.
Okay.
Sure. Well, one of these that you may see coming in the future, as far as some of that telemedicine where providers actually go to someone's home, or they have someone non-clinical in someone's home and they want to get some readings back, is this device. It's called an Echo Duo, and we actually demonstrated their first product, which was that handheld EKG machine with the single lead. Well, now they've actually got a stethoscope with the built-in EKG, and so it's just a little device. It looks
Doesn't look like a stethoscope.
No, this is it. It's got the battery charger here, and it actually has instructions of where to place this on your skin, on your chest, where to go, and then it picks up breathing sounds, it picks up your bowel tones, it picks up the heart noises, and it can generate that single lead EKG. So it actually records it. It's something that can be sent in to the provider to read, to look at. And can be done, like I said, just by following the instructions.
And you talk about home care.
Amazing.
Imagine that. Imagine a patient having that at home and being able to have the doc 200 miles away and being able to just, they've had heart surgery and they're able to send not only their heart, the rhythm, the reading, the EKG, but they're also actually sending the sounds so the physician can hear that.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Another one, this is something that you can actually purchase off Amazon right now. It's called the Temp Track. And this is, like I said, for, you have new mothers. This can be used on anyone, but it's really handy because you can put this right on your child. Yeah, you want to open that? And it will stay on for 24 to 48 hours, and that's how the price is determined. It's about $10 to $20. And you can actually download the app that goes on your smartphone, and you place it right on your child, and then it will actually show you if there has been a temperature spike, what the trend is, and so you get a lot more valuable information versus, is my baby getting more fussy or not? Do I need to stick a thermometer somewhere where they don't want?
I mean, imagine that when somebody's at home, and babies are the greatest example because, a lot of us have done that where you're up all night walking in, feeling them. You don't want to wake them up, but you've got to take a temperature. Imagine being able to just look at your smartphone and see the entire trend for 24, 48 hours.
Absolutely amazing. Is there just one per package? And
There's 10, two.
Two per package, okay.
Yep, and they just, you just peel it off and stick it on.
Single use, I assume, yes.
Yes.
They have a 24-hour version, a 48-hour version, and a 72-hour version.
Okay, we're going to pause for a quick break. And coming up next, Dan and Shireen will show us more health and healthcare innovations so we can better take care of ourselves at home. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Dan, Keith, and Shireen Campbell are still with us, and they have more devices and health technology to show us. Thanks for sticking around, you guys, to show us this cool technology. So before we jump back into looking at some of the devices, can you talk a little bit about any words of caution or advice, tips you'd give to people that are considering using these technologies?
The main thing I would say is that we go to several shows a year and look at a lot of this stuff, and there's just so much of it out there that isn't that great. And so you just kind of want to be careful about what you're buying. It does take a little bit of research. Okay. The other thing is to not use them as some sort of diagnostic tool or something like that.
Makes good sense. Let's just get right into looking at more devices because I know you have a lot to show us. So what else do we have to see today?
Well, one of these first ones is called the Relief Band. We don't actually have the band with us because we have somebody who happens to be going through some medical procedures trialing this to see how it does affect different individuals. So even we like to put it out there in different circumstances to see. But this is called the Relief Band. It's to help with nausea. It's supposed to be after post-operative pain, motion sickness, pregnancy-related, morning sickness, any of that. And it straps onto your wrist and it gives a pulsation in your median nerve that actually triggers your brain to tell your stomach that you don't need to be nauseated right now. So there's a really cool video that you can actually go and look at, see how the process works. And this This is one of those where you'd want to look and see, okay, do I want to purchase this? It's a little bit spendier. I think it's about $175 for one of these. But if you're dealing with medications or have issues with nausea, definitely something that would be very valuable.
And available online, or?
Yes,
Okay.
you can get that one online. That's for a consumer purchase. This is kind of a fun little gizmo for kids or people who don't like shots. It's actually a little buzzer you place right on the individual, and it's a distraction technique. So if your child needs to get immunizations or shots or frequent blood draws, or if you have someone with diabetes for the first time and you want to distract from all the finger pokes, this will distract them. So that's kind of a fun little device. This is called TileMate. You can see it's a tracker for your keys, but what we like about it is, let's say you have a child with asthma and they bring their inhaler to school with them. If you can attach something like this, so if they have an emergency at home or at school or at a friend's house and they're panicked, they can't breathe, and you need to find that inhaler, you can add it to things such as that.
Wow, that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Now, and for that, you need a cell phone. You need a smartphone.
Yeah, you do need the app with that.
And how much is something like that, Ren?
$20 to $30 for one. It lasts a year. You don't have to recharge the battery or worry about replacing anything. So you just would have to kind of set a reminder to make sure and buy one every year if you have it for something like that.
And now for people that want to use it for another use, I mean, it's made to, you throw it in your laptop bag, you throw it in your suitcase, wherever, on your purse, on your child, whatever, and you can locate those things if they get lost. So.
This is kind of a neat one. We brought last time a device called Quell that you actually put on the back of your knee. This is for women who actually struggle with menstrual cramps. So if you have somebody who has a lot of pain, this is something that's very discreet. You can put it on the clip of your pants. These attach on your abdomen, and they actually provide relief from menstrual cramps using that kind of TENS unit technology. So that's kind of another neat one. This we really like. This is called the iKeep. Hang on to that. It's a safe that can actually be placed in a wall, in a drawer. You can expand the sides here, so if you need to put it between studs. It does have a physical key to open it, but then it's also got the lock pad. What's really neat about this is you can actually have an app on your phone that will alarm you if somebody's tried to move it, has gotten into it when they shouldn't. So if you have someone that's helping take care of an elderly patient at home, and maybe they get confused, they think they need to take their meds again, you can get an alert on your phone that somebody's trying to access it again. Then you can call or get a hold of them and say, hey, what's going on? No, don't take your medications again, or whatever you need to do with that. One thing is, though, you wouldn't want to put anything life-saving in here.
Sure.
But you could store other important documents, whatnot. There is 4 AA batteries that go with this, so that does need to be changed. But again, you do have the physical key that you can hide.
How much
with
is
that
something
one.
like this, Ren?
That one is about $150,
Okay.
and again, you can buy online with that. Oh, and it does alarm as well. So if you actually move it, it will alarm. So somebody who might be tampering with, if you have narcotics or something at home with a surgery, it would start screaming and not stop until somebody put in the code.
Excellent piece of technology.
Yeah. One of the other ones that we really like that you could actually use kind of along with this is the Ring technology, or having some sort of camera where, let's say, something like that were to go off in your remote, you could actually kind of peek in and say, hey, Ma, what are you doing with your medications? Or, who's actually, nobody's at home, why is that thing being moved? And see if somebody's in there. This is also good for, just having it at your front door, having that technology to be able to turn it on, or even back door. I think you've got it.
I've got one, and actually, this is, you'll see Shaquille O'Neal. He's one of the advertising folks on TV, and this is the Ring. This is the doorbell, so you can see who's at your front door.
Okay.
But then I've got one on my back porch where I right now could look and see my back porch, and it'll alarm me when there's motion, so when I'm not home. And not only that, I can actually, it has a speaker, so I can not only see, but I can talk to whoever's there.
And this is just a standalone system. I mean, this doesn't have to be hardwired into your house.
No hardwiring.
This just gets put up and it's ready to go connect to your smartphone.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
How much does something like this cost?
These are about $100, and I think
the simple one,
the simple one, and then the camera that, for example, that I've got in the back of my house is about $180. But again, no wires.
Sweet.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break. If you're the type of person where you find these sorts of technologies fascinating but a little too intimidating, we have some items to show you that are probably more your speed. And even those of you who are pretty tech savvy will still appreciate how useful these are. We'll take our break and be back in a couple minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back. Dan Keith and Shireen Campbell are here from It Starts With Me. We've looked at some at-home technology and devices to help people monitor, track, and even improve their health. Now we're going to switch gears and look at some useful household items that are related to your health and peace of mind, but don't require a lot of technology know-how. Thanks for staying with us. So now you're going to show us some things that are a little more low-tech, and I'd love to know how these caught your interest and what you can, talk about that a little bit.
Well, as I mentioned, we go to some shows several times a year, and as we walk through, we've kind of got several things in mind, and most of it is patient care,
yes.
either people that are in a facility or not, and then also we always have in mind that there are some people who have smartphones, and there's some that don't. So we kind of try to look at all of that, and then weed through the things that maybe seem a little tangential or who would use that to be things that people actually need.
Excellent. Yeah. So where shall we start?
I think we'll actually
let's start
with
there.
these. This is, I guess, a combination of a non-tech to a tech. You probably have heard of like the 23andMe
yes.
And various DNA tests, and we don't promote any of them or not, but this one really caught our eye because this actually gives you not your family history, but more information about you and different things that they have found. And all you do is you actually send this in, you get mailed these boxes, and this price range is from like $50 to $150. You get a cheek swab. You rub that around in your cheek, you label it, put it back in the mail, and within a few weeks you get all the results back, depending on what you want to look at. They have things from nutrition, fitness, vitamins, and this is not what your level is currently, so that would still be something that you would need to have a blood test for. But they would tell you if maybe that's an issue you need to be aware of.
Okay.
So that's what's great with these. This is called the Right Cup, and I'm going to have you smell this.
Ooh.
This cup, actually there's no flavoring involved, but it tricks your brain because you smell it. Okay. And so with someone who's having a hard time drinking enough water during the day, whether it be someone elderly, someone who just hasn't, kind of acquired that taste for just plain water, it's a great way to trick your brain and increase your water intake.
Great.
So.
Well, how much for the Right Cup?
These are about $30 a piece, and there is flavors from peach and orange and berry to cola flavored. So if you've got a cola addiction you're wanting to break.
And I think it's important to mention too, while Shireen's getting her next item, that you don't sell any of these particular items for your company,
yes.
right?
We're not selling them, we're not endorsing them. We simply are just kind of fascinated by a lot of this and use some of them ourselves with some of our clients.
Yes, perfect.
So.
These are actually the new version of Ted hose. So if you've seen compression stockings that, even you can buy at Walmart, you've got the old brown,
the white with the hole in the toes.
Much snazzier.
Much snazzier, fun, young mothers who are pregnant or while flying, we were saying, even my ankles swell when I'm on the plane. These are just such a fun way to have the compression stockings so that you have better circulation, prevent varicose veins, especially if you're on your feet for a long time. But these are great. These are about $32.95 online. There's a few specialty stores that may carry these, but really probably your easiest bet is to find these online. They're called Vim and Vigor.
Vim and Vigor.
Okay.
VIMVIGR.
Great looking product.
Yeah, these are great. These are what are called blue light glasses. So if you're an individual who stares at a screen a long time, suffers from headaches, maybe insomnia at night, this is a great way to reduce that blue light that's coming from cell phones, TVs, computer screens, and you just pop these on You can still look at everything, just adjust the color a little bit.
You just put on your skis and go.
There you go.
And you know, that's a great tool for folks. You know, I know that's available in eyeglasses, but for folks who don't wear eyeglasses or don't want to go through that process, this is a great way to get that blue light protection.
Well,
$10.
$10. And this is one of the better, on Consumer Reports, this is one of the better versions. And I've actually used these at night, because I tended to, you know, they talk about the blue light at night and it causing insomnia. That definitely is true with me.
Yes.
And the glasses really have been helpful.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This is a children's version. I think the adult is a purple box, but this is a pressure regulating earplug for people who suffer from migraines. So, you know, it may not always be the root of the cause for a migraine, but if you can help prevent migraines, this is another cheap one. I think it's about $10 for a set of plugs that you can. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you know, people that the changes in the weather, actually they notice that's what's causing their migraines. That's specifically what this is for people who know that's the cause of their migraines, and it's supposed to mitigate some of that.
Yeah, so if you see somebody in the office with earplugs, eyeglasses on, you know,
That's good. And
we're trying to get rid of the
inexpensive
headaches.
way to do that. If that works for them, that's outstanding.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, fantastic. This one, I'll let you demonstrate.
Actually, I want to show this before we're out of
Oh,
time.
yeah,
Yes.
no, please.
This is something that isn't available yet, but this is a new way to get your blood drawn. And this is probably a couple of years out. But this is something that we just find very interesting. It's a device that you can actually send to an individual at home, and you put it on your shoulder and it'll attach. And then over a couple of minutes, it'll actually draw the blood out and put it in here, and then you actually mail this back to the lab and they run the blood test.
Oh my goodness.
So for people that are afraid of getting venipunctures and so on, this is a fantastic
Or
technology.
need it very frequently. That's
need
the
it
other
frequently.
thing.
Does this have to be prescribed by a physician, or how does that work?
It's not even out yet, so
Not out
I
yet,
imagine
okay.
that's possible.
Okay, we have about 30 seconds. You've got one
Okay.
more thing you can
Yep,
show us.
I'll go ahead and
Yes.
demonstrate this.
Wonderful.
This one, again, you would want to talk to your doctor before you were to order it, but you can get it, again, online, Amazon, $20 to $30. And this is a cervical traction device where it actually just pumps up, relieves the neck pain. So yeah, again, the glasses, a little cushion around your thing, and
Good to go.
neck and earplugs.
Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us. That's all the time we have for today. We hope you'll come back next week. Until then, stay fit, stay well, and stay healthy for life with Healthy Living for Life. Have a great week.
Healthy Living for Life is brought to you by Mountain Pacific Quality Health. We'd love to hear from you. If you have suggestions for future programs, visit our website at mpqhf.org or call us at 406-443-4020. You can also catch us on YouTube by visiting our website and clicking on the YouTube icon. Special thanks to Fire Tower Coffee House and Roasters. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions.